This week, the Luxury Channel is invited to Milan's fabulous Salone Internazionale del Mobile, the world's premier furniture, interior and industrial design fair.
Well, Milan this week is certainly, top place in the world for everything which has to do with design and designers and those who are interested in design.
Salone is like the Oscars of the design world.
At Salone del Mobile, we meet with legends in the world of industrial design.
Today, if I was 17, full of energy and dream, I shall not make design. I shall fight with other weapons for all the challenge we have in front of us, economical, war, poverty.
We are invited to join Veuve Clicquot at their out-of-the-box Salone del Mobile premiere.
I was presented with this box, a presentation box for Veuve, which was a box, and the idea was that several designers would take inspiration from the box.
Explore the Super Studio and discover why it's considered the hottest venue at the fair.
I feel good, to be hugged, in the same festival in the Super Studio, which is the center of the center.
Question whether sustainability is part of the fair's vocabulary.
All the lights we use are LEDs. The whole exhibition uses less light than one normal incandescent light bulb.
And find out why the global slowdown seems irrelevant to the daring few. Over 6 days in May, more than 300,000 people from across the globe descend on Milan for the most important design event of the year. The city bustles with energy and creativity as both residents and visitors try to cram in as many of the exhibits, installations, launches and parties as possible. There are several must-see exhibits this year, and one such event that the Luxury Channel could not miss was the Italian luxury fashion house Fendi's collaborative design performance exhibition with creative innovators Design Miami.
The project's called Kraft Punk, and it's looking at 10 different designers who are taking materials. Some of the materials have been donated by Fendi as scraps or things that might have ended up in the garbage anyway. Others are using processes with simple materials like paper, metal, and foam, very simple ideas that all can be worked with their hands. We chose the 10 designers based on the way that they work. They all tend to work in a way that's very rough and ready, very ingenious, but also very simple at the same time. So we were looking for young people who, work in their studios. They take simple materials and transform them into something sort of extraordinary.
I really like the idea of the title, that is a Kraft Punk idea. And I feel like it suits me, like in the way I'm also working. I'm very rough in a way, and I like to do the thing like just to express an idea. So I never imagined myself like using leather, and such expensive leather, and not in this way.
I asked Fendi to send me stuff that is totally out of season, not using anymore, and then I took it again and rebuilt it and cut it up in different ways and put it together. I think all the time is always coming back, but it is coming back in a new way. I think each design is a period of time.
One of the ways we wanted to respond to the economic climate that has everyone, especially say in New York or London, just feeling like the good days are over, maybe. We wanted to show that sometimes the big budgets aren't there, but you can still be super creative. You can still use your mind to come up with a crazy project that doesn't rely on a huge budget.
Salone del Mobile is a 6-day event that stretches right across Milan. It seems every available space has been snatched up for some creative endeavor or another. The famous Museo della Permanente on the Via Filippo Turrato hosted the remarkable Lexus Elfin-S crystallized wind installation. As part of its contribution to this year's celebration of art and design, luxury vehicle manufacturer Lexus asked Japanese architect Sue Fujimoto to creatively interpret the philosophy behind the new Elfin-S.
My project is based on Lexus philosophy, Elfin-S. It's a kind of a coexistence of different aspects, for example, nature and artificial things. The title is Crystallized Wind. And the crystallized, I mean give a shape to the wind. And the wind has no shape, but in an artificial and artistic way, we can give some shape to the wind. And I designed furniture, the crystallized chair. That is a chair by acrylic material, the transparent chair, then cut in 5 different pieces. That pieces is like a puzzle, so you can lay out freely to create your own, activity around that furniture. All the material, including the 1:1 scale model of the car, is acrylic, so it's a completely artificial space.
Ayala Safati from Tel Aviv has been exhibiting her unique organic designs for several years at the Salone del Mobile. This year, she is using the reception area of the trendy Now Hotel as her exhibition space.
I think I'm interested in creating intimate atmosphere, also in public spaces as well as in my home, to create something which is very tactile and not mass-produced. My latest designs are made of handmade felt and handmade ceramics and upholstery, which is three-dimensional. The hammock is called satala, and in Hebrew it means to be relaxed, a bit high but really relaxed. And this satala is unique in a way that you don't need anyone to swing you. It swings by itself, by the movement of the person who is sitting in the chair. These are actually made just as a custom piece for this hotel. So we decided to make a floor piece just with one shade, because it was very suitable for the entrance here. The green floor lamps are called Morning Glory, and this is my bestseller. Chair I'm sitting on is called Gladys, and it's my new chair. It's very biomorphic, and it's completely upholstered as one three-dimensional thing. The new lights are made from wool, handmade into felt. We have mohair wool, and we have merino wool, and angora, and different kind of silk threads into the felt itself. And it's called Apaya, and it's going to be the first of a new collection made by hand.
Another designer from Israel, who's been exhibiting at the Salone del Mobile for a few years, is visionary furniture designer Erik Bensimon.
My latest collection is a kind of muscular collection. The things are in classic shapes, but with a kind of muscles that actually touch your body in the places that you want them to touch. My furnitures are first of all comfortable. You know, when it hugs you, it hugs you. And of course, all the boxing equipment. We're gonna see the Mickey Mouse, a little bit cartoon, a little bit fun, but still good armchair. Now you're seeing very classic shape, very square one. I call it the box, and it's got the muscles just in the exact place that you want them to touch you. My inspiration is life, just life. And it's all over at me. Every day, I hope, till the rest of my life.
The Luxury Channel was invited to Milan's renowned Alias Design Emporium Salone exhibition on the Corso Monteforte. An opportunity to catch up with the acclaimed maverick designer Philippe Starck and to discuss, amongst other things, his new home, gym, office designs.
Clearly, design, if it's just to design a new chair and a new lamp and have 12 people saying, "Oh my God, it's so beautiful," it's absolutely useless. The only way to make this job a little more useful is to have a vision. We know now that to survive a little more, it's good to be healthy. And to be healthy, it's exercise or exercise or exercise. Buying an object for gym, it's huge, costly, ugly. So finally you do nothing and you die. And that's why, since years, I am thinking about a collection of objects which are real objects to make gym, the right one, we have checked with all the codes, gym and things like that, but acceptable, aesthetically acceptable, even can become art and decoration for some people, in the home or in the office. Like that you have no excuse. Today there is some problem. Some designers think perhaps it's not enough noble to design a good chair, and they won't make art and sell that $1 million for one person. I am not comfortable with this idea. If I was 17, full of energy and dream, I shall not make design. I shall fight with other weapons for all the challenge we have in front of us: economical, war, poverty, ecology, and a lot of things like that. And today design is not a solution. It's not the priority.
Coming up, we are invited to Salone del Mobile's must-be-at party. We take a look round the groundbreaking Zona Tortona and investigate sustainability issues in the brave new world of design, and discover how the workplace is being turned on its head by some radical Dutch designers. Milan's 6-day Salone del Mobile is considered by all who love good design the premier event of the year, an opportunity to catch up on what's happening on a global level in the world of design. And then, of course, there's always the nightlife. This year, Veuve Clicquot hosted an exclusive invitation-only cocktail party at the Zona Tortona to both celebrate and launch their innovative out-of-the-box project.
Well, Milan this week is certainly, top place in the world for everything which has to do with design and designers and those who are interested in design. This year was a very special year because we're just going to introduce a new gift box, which is called a design box. And we went to 3 different group of designers, showing them the design box and saying, are you inspired by it? And in very, very different ways, they all went away and came back with their own expression of the out-of-the-box concept, or the original design box.
I was presented with this box, a presentation box for Veuve, which was a box, and the idea was that several designers would take inspiration from the box. So I thought really about a variety of things that interest me, particularly geometry and cardboard engineering, because although it's a very simple box, it's a technically quite demanding box to make. And came up with this idea of a comet object, because the comet is part of the logo of Clicquot. And so the object that I've made is a spherical lamp based on the comet idea, but made out of geometric components.
It's everything I like about design. It's both useful, but at the same time extremely good-looking and interesting.
I think champagne is a very interesting product to think around. It has a long history, and it has all the different connotations of luxury and all the things that are around it. It's like a mythical drink. To work with projects like this gives us a chance to sort of explore different themes and so on that would maybe be possible to do for like a regular production, which is very interesting.
Veuve Clicquot gave us the box and they say you can do what you want to make something with that, and it could be artistic, it could be functional, and we decided to make something functional because we are industrial designer, and we wanted to keep the function of the box. The function of a box is to protect the bottle and to store it. We keep that, and we made a cellar in the design box.
Milan is considered Europe's centre for fashion and design, so it's not surprising that the city should play host to the world's largest and most dynamic design fair, the Salone del Mobile. Despite the downturn, this year saw a record of 2,700 exhibitors in the city's main exhibition centres, to say nothing of several hundred satellite exhibitors and events spread out across the city. Milan is full to overflowing, with hotel rooms booked up months in advance. One of the most exciting, cutting-edge and influential independent satellite exhibitions is Zona Tortona at the Super Studio. Leading designers from over 40 countries worldwide are selected by the Zona Tortona team and then invited to show their work at this highly prestigious exhibition. An important recurring theme of this year's Zona Tortona was that of sustainability in all elements of design. Philips used the event to launch its new and revolutionary OLED lighting system.
The OLEDs are a future light source, and these are the first baby steps out of the laboratories into real applications. First of all, they're very energy efficient, so a lot of the energy that we put in is converted into light. We don't use any hazardous substances in there, so it's easy to recycle. It's therefore a very green light source, and on top of that, it lives very, very long. We are the first to make this technology available because we think it deserves much more than being just another light source. So what we want to show with this more conceptual booth is presenting the material in an attractive manner, and we say we are technology providers and you are the creatives, so please pick it up and tell us what applications you consider doing with this.
Leading British designer Tom Dixon was also invited to exhibit at Zona Tortona. We asked him for his take on the most important issues facing the design world today.
I think everybody has to be concerned about the environment, everybody has to consider their position on it, and you have to encourage good practice when you see it. In Milan this week, there's obviously a lot of talk about the credit crunch. People are starting to realise that there's a limit to their acquisitive nature. But ultimately, it's a very complex story, and the more I learn about sustainability, the more complicated it becomes. And I don't think that any designer can rightfully claim to be pushing consumption and being ecological at the same time. I think probably not designing might be a good start, trying to retain things that exist, putting them back in the chain. So that would be true sustainability where you don't actually create anything new. But obviously that's quite a tough call for somebody who's interested in making new products.
Another designer exhibiting at Zona Tortona and raising serious questions around the issue of sustainability was New Zealander David Trubridge.
My main inspiration is nature, it's the wild places, and that for me is where I go when I need space to clear my head and let things settle and then think, and that's where new ideas start to generate. The story behind these pieces comes from the Amari myth. Early, after the creation, after the father and the mother were separated and there was space made in between for people to live, they didn't know how to live. And so they sent one of their people up into the heavens to bring back the knowledge they needed to live on the earth. And he brought back the knowledge in 3 baskets. The first basket contained the knowledge of the natural world, of the earth. The second basket is our rational knowledge, our thinking knowledge, our minds. And the third basket is the spiritual knowledge. And so this is presented as a kind of a moral maybe for our times now, is that maybe these 3 baskets have got out of balance and our rational knowledge is drowning out the knowledge of the earth, the caring for the earth, and our spiritual side. And maybe to live a better life, we need to regain that balance. So we try to do everything as sustainably as possible. Now, I don't say we will succeed, and we're learning and trying to improve all the time. So for this show, we didn't freight large volumes. These pieces didn't come in a box. They came in a small luggage bag. So the whole exhibition came as our luggage from New Zealand. All the lights we use are LEDs. The whole exhibition uses less light than one normal incandescent light bulb. So we're trying to keep the energy use down, the freight down. These are big pieces. The actual volume of material that we use to make these pieces is very small. So we're using minimum materials for maximum effect.
One of Zona Tortona's larger and more theatrical installations this year was the extraordinary walk-through Kaleidoscope. Carlo Urbanati Ricci of the innovative Venice-based lighting company Foscarini explains their rationale behind the exhibit.
This is an installation which is being conceived on our brief by Vicente Garcia. So what we follow more, it's just getting an emotion out of any kind of concept that we've been working with. The connection of sound, light, and the effect of the video in the end, it's something which is astonished, and as a matter of fact, has astonished myself as well.
Japan-based Alcantara specializes in fabrics and materials, but they have an edge in that they are constantly seeking out new and more innovative ways to both use and display their products. Andrea Boragno describes the thinking behind the exhibits.
What we are doing today here is we are underlining once more and once again this strong association with the designer community. We have here 8 top designers, and they give an interpretation of Alcantara, a different interpretation, and our customers are top-level customers. They really want tailored solution, they really want performance and functionality, but they also want style and design. I think that we are facing a redefinition of the concept of luxury, and we have to introduce in the luxury concept new idea, a new concept. And the attention to the environment and the attention to the social, I believe this is one of the points that we have to take care of.
This year saw the almost institutionalized Milan Design Village playing host to top brand furniture interior specialists: Alias, Poltrona Frau, Cassina and Capellini. These timeless companies represent many of Europe's established leading furniture designers, and the Milan Design Village Extended exhibition reflected popular trends in top-end interior design today. Visionary Dutch company Mooi was showing a selection of some of their new designs and products at Milan's Salone del Mobile. They introduced new designer Nika Zupank's multi-purpose lamp, and she talks about her thinking behind the design.
In my works I was and still am trying to deal with these aesthetic elements which are considered very feminine, and I think this is a subject which hasn't been yet articulated in the design profession itself. And I could say that the product reflects the purest meaning of my work, because it's actually very simple, very restrained, but yet very feminine. I could say that I'm most inspired by these really everyday things, which are usually considered something not interesting or something not under the spots. And I'm trying to, again, articulate these images, and I'm trying to evoke new meanings.
One of Holland's most innovative design teams is reinventing the workspace by turning our concept of the office interior upside down and conceiving a radical rethink on the traditional workspace. Jürgen Bay of Proof explains.
And it's a new brand that is more interested in doing projects, and through project developing new furniture, new tools to make the public space of working different, or I think better. One of the objects we just trying to develop is this slow car. We start with the office chair, which normally could only do a circle around the table, and what if it could move so much faster and so much further away? And that's where the slow car comes in. It's like a minimal office. So you have a desk, and because it's electrical and it goes 40 kilometers an hour, it can go from one building to another building, and it can as well be inside as outside. And if you think about the whole production world, you also know that you have these robots that you can say exactly when it needs to be where. So you can have this car and you say at 4 o'clock I have to be in the 3rd building on the 7th floor, and in the meanwhile it just moves you there, and you can just do your work because your desk is your place, and then at 4 o'clock you're there, because it would mean that the office is going to grow into a campus. And when you have open space, you also have to find ways of concentration. You have to make new furniture that is able to give you like a space nobody can get in, but still see. That's, for instance, the ear chairs, the way they are developed is that when you sit in it, you have a limited vision, all the noise gets absorbed by the chair, which means that when you sit there, you're there only with the person you speak with, but you can still enjoy the big space that you don't have anywhere else. So it's not about profits, it's not just about making as much as possible, it's like making a new world and try to live it.